morning to all. In this fourth Elets National Energy Summit, which is being organized here in Mumbai. On the dais, Dr. Ravi Gupta, CEO and Editor-in-Chief, Elets Technomedia Industry Perspective. Then Mr. Murtuza Kakodi, Chairman, Avada Group. Mr. Milind Deshmukh, Managing Director of MD Transcon Private Limited. Mr. Martin Mayer, Consul General of Switzerland, Mumbai. Mr. Bart de Jong, Consul General of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Mumbai. I think Miss Anne Jan Flo. I'm sorry if, if there is something wrong in the pronunciation. Consul General of Norway. And other important dignitaries on the dais. I welcome all the delegates for this summit. In fact, our Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, was supposed to join this summit, but then due to some reason, actually his program got changed. Ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to address this August gathering on the occasion of National Energy Summit 2022. I am thankful to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to set up the context for blueprint for sustainable future, advancing smart and sustainable energy. Power sector is going through the revolutionary phase, and this decade would cast definitive changes in the overall businesses of power generation, transmission and distribution. Presently, total renewable energy capacity in India is around 163 gigawatt and further expected to add 121 gigawatt more by 2026. Further, during COP26, that is the 26th session of the Conference of the Parties of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, India announced new 2030 target of 500 gigawatt, which is a very, very ambitious target. It's a very huge target. And the target is that out of total energy, 50% will be renewable electricity generation by 2030, and net zero emission will be achieved by 2070. And this further confirms the country's commitment to energy transition. On the similar lines, Maharashtra government has also announced the renewable energy policy, and up to 2025, we have target of around 17,000 megawatt of renewable energy capacity, and out of that 12,000 megawatt will be only through solar and other through wind and cogeneration. Maharashtra has a huge potential of solar and wind energy, and in fact, as far as the solar is concerned, Maharashtra has actually tapped only 2% to 3% of the potential, and same thing about the renewable, same thing about the wind also. So actually, there is a very, very huge potential in Maharashtra for renewable energy generation. So as per the actually target given by our Honorable Prime Minister, Maharashtra is also proceeding ahead for the renewable energy generation. But there are various challenges for renewable energy generation and for sustainable energy aspects. Major challenge is the financial health of India's distribution companies, and basically it remains a critical challenge, leading to delays in signing of power purchase agreements with auction winners, and putting some project at risk of delay and cancellation. In fact, Government of India is actually for agriculture consumer. Government of India has announced an ambitious scheme of KUSUM, that is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttam Mahabhiyan, and it has got three components. First component is component A, where actually is basically you put solar plant of capacity 0.2 megawatt to 2 megawatt. And the target given to Maharashtra for this is around 500 megawatt. The idea is that we have actually segregated agriculture feeder, around 4,500 agriculture feeder has been segregated. And in the revamped distribution sector scheme, another 6,000 feeder is going to be segregated. And basically, this feeder will be solarized through this Kusum. Already we have achieved capacity of 100 megawatt. 100 megawatt is already in agriculture feeder has been solarized. And our target up to 2025 is 500 megawatt. So if you actually segregate this feeder and make it solarized, then actually cost of electricity supplied to farmers will be very less. And it will be hardly 2 rupees 10 paise, 2 rupees 20 paise, like that. And basically there will be losses also, AT&C losses will be reduced to a great extent. And mainly farmers in Maharashtra, they want power during daytime. Now daytime power is not possible. Actually it is given alternately, one day daytime, one day night time. And at the night time, farmers are facing a lot of problems because at night time they have to go to field to irrigate the field, and there are actually snake bites, and also in some cases wild animals like tigers, elephants attack them. So in fact, due to this solarization of the feeder, all the farmers will get daytime power at a very cheaper cost. And with the subsidy given by Maharashtra is around 2 rupees something, 1.8 to 2 rupees. So almost actually these power will be almost free of cost to the farmer, and it's a very ambitious scheme of Government of India. In fact, Maharashtra started a bit earlier. So Maharashtra, in fact, 5 years back only, Maharashtra inaugurated the scheme of Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana. So where actually basically solar plant can be put up to 5 megawatt, and the feeders, segregated feeder can be solarized through this scheme. And through Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana, already around 200 megawatt capacity is already been utilized. So in fact, Maharashtra is a front runner as far as the segregated solar feeder is concerned. Another challenge of DISCOM is that the actually meters are not smart meters, and that's why basically this is one of the contributor to AT&C losses. Present AT&C losses of DISCOM is as high as 18% to 20%. And in fact, in a revamped distribution sector scheme, it is actually targeted that these AT&C losses should be reduced as much as possible, and the target is 12%. Indian government also announced a new stimulus program to support the DISCOM in the installation of smart and prepaid meters to reduce losses and decrease their revenue gap. In order to improve the financial health further, government introduced new guidelines enabling them to terminate PPAs with coal plants after 25 years. So actually the PPAs with coal plants, in fact, those with higher cost, DISCOM have been given flexibility to terminate those PPAs and replace those PPAs with renewable power. As far as addition of renewable energy capacity is concerned, cost attractiveness and continued policy support are expected to drive the deployment. In case of photovoltaic solar, public awareness also remains low, which altogether leads to subdued deployment despite high economic attractiveness in many Indian states. And in fact, in Maharashtra is also one of the major actually issue which the constraint we are facing for putting up solar plant is that the cost of land is very high in Maharashtra, and even if you consider the most arid and deserted land, the cost is 4 lakh to 5 lakh per acre. But then recently Maharashtra government has announced a new policy where we actually from the distribution company has set up a scheme. So it's a land bank has been constituted, and where land can be leased by distribution company at basically at 30,000 rupees per acre, or if you calculate the ready reckoner of the land, then 6% of the ready reckoner. So actually whichever is higher. So this is very actually, in fact, attractive scheme. If you see the 30,000 rupees per acre, that converts into 75,000 rupees per hectare. So it's actually, in fact, a lot of farmers and a lot of landowners have expressed their interest. And as the land bank basically grows, then solar developer will be having actually basically they will be having database of this land bank, and they can put their solar plant on this land. More support from central and state government in identification of suitable sites for wind and solar PV and providing grid connections are essential elements of the accelerated case, speeding the development of large scale projects. So in fact, although the sites are, there are large number of sites, but then land constraints is also one of the major problem in Maharashtra, which actually government has addressed through various schemes. Having deliberated upon the sustainable energy scenario in India, it is essential to ponder upon the use of new and innovative information and communication technologies in various fields of power sector. Power sector utilities are adopting various technologies towards efforts in modernization of the sector. Energy infrastructure needs to be equipped with various modern technologies as well as latest O&M practices, and also smart to embrace future requirement. Government of India has recently announced a very ambitious scheme for distribution companies, the revamped distribution sector scheme. It basically has three components. First component is that putting up smart prepaid meters, and in fact, and the second component is about schemes for the loss reduction, how to reduce AT&C losses, and third component is system strengthening. And in fact, we had prepared a proposal of 37,000 crore for this scheme, and in fact 27,000 crore has already been sanctioned by Government of India. As far as the smart prepaid meter is concerned, almost 1.5 crore of smart prepaid meter are going to be installed in Maharashtra by MSETCL. Also BEST, which is a Mumbai utility, has also been sanctioned around 3,500 crore under revamped distribution sector scheme. It's a very ambitious scheme, and in fact, after the implementation of the scheme, AT&C losses will be reduced up to 12%, and ACS minus ARR gap, that is average cost of supply minus average revenue realization, will be actually reduced to zero. National Electricity Plan discusses the importance of use of emerging technologies such as supervisory control and data acquisition, which is SCADA system, or energy management system. SCADA have been implemented in all state transmission and regional grids at major EHV substation and SLDCs. We have also implemented our load dispatch center already has SCADA. But then distribution companies have not actually implemented SCADA on large scale. Under the scheme of RAP DRP scheme, which was Government of India scheme, which was launched way back in 2008, distribution companies have put up SCADA in some places, but not like the penetration of SCADA is very, very less in distribution companies. And that has been actually handled by revamped distribution sector scheme, where a lot of fund has been allocated for implementation of SCADA in the distribution companies. With growing attention on smart grids and advanced demand management system, which covers SCADA, distribution management system and outage management system will certainly help in grid monitoring and improving system availability and reliability. So also these technologies can help in monitoring of grid using phasor measurement units and wide area measurement system, which can enable dynamic monitoring of EHV grid and controls such as automatic response to grid disturbance through integrated protection scheme and auto islanding of particular important areas. The distribution grid monitoring can also help in monitoring distributed generation. In fact, transmission companies also will face a lot of challenges as the basically share of renewable energy will grow. When the renewable energy percentage as far as the grid injection is concerned is around 10% to 15%, but when it will grow to 50%, then grid reliability and stability will become a major challenge for transmission companies. And as you know, the renewable actually generators Major problem is that all the renewable generator, either solar or wind, they are actually located at very distributed, isolated places, and those are distributed over a large area. Whereas actually earlier the system is that thermal generator or nuclear generator, so they at one place they can produce like 1000 megawatt, 1500 megawatt, even 3000 megawatt. But then solar generator and wind generator are distributed over a large area. And in fact, the power is also infirm power. So actually you don't know whether actually the power will be available all the time. So even though we have a very good models for solar and wind energy output, which basically factor into weather forecasting consideration, still those models actually doesn't give exact basically prediction. So actually infirm power and actually distributed power is a major challenge for renewable energy generator, which poses a lot of challenge for the grid reliability and stability. So integration of renewable energy is a major actually challenge before transmission companies and load dispatch centers. And advanced protection schemes, advanced relay and protection schemes basically have been introduced. Some of the companies like Siemens and General Electric, they have actually basically developed new products, so which will basically help in integration of renewable energy in the grid. Evacuation of renewable energy is a major aspect because all the renewable generators are distributed, and transmission lines we have to draw from very basically remote far-flung areas. So actually the transmission assets also cost very much higher, and basically there is a problem for the transmission companies. They put a lot of assets and then assets are not getting utilized. If the renewable generator projects do not complete, then these transmission assets will remain idle. So that's a major challenge. In fact, Government of India has come up with a scheme of Green Energy Corridor scheme, and with the help of international funding agency like KFW is one of the agency which actually is funding Green Energy Corridor. Then Asian Development Bank has recently come forward, and they have also promised to help in actually putting up transmission asset and giving loan at a very low interest rate from 1% to 2% like that. So Asian Development Bank, in fact, they have actually agreed to give loan at 1%. So in fact, we have completed phase 1 of Green Energy Corridor, which was basically funded by KFW. And now we have identified from MSETCL side, we have identified many schemes to actually evacuate green energy power. And we are actually exploring from which financial agency we can get loan of this scheme. The revamped distribution sector scheme has been launched, as I told earlier, and which basically will reduce AT&C losses by 2024-25. Major scope of the scheme includes installation of prepaid smart meters to selected consumers, communicable meters for feeders and distribution. Also feeders and distribution transformer will be 100% meters. So actually the theft of power will also be reduced to a great extent, which will result into reduction in AT&C losses, which will basically reflect into a reduction in energy tariff to consumers. Substation monitoring system will also help for real-time monitoring and demand-side management at micro level for discounts like MSETCL, who caters a mammoth consumer, and the number of consumer for discount is huge, like 2.5 crore consumers with the MSETCL through more than 4,000 distribution substations spread across the state. The times are really challenging for the power sector, and with the hope that the time too we will be successful in overcoming the various hurdles in our path to ensure smart and sustainable power supply to the consumers at reasonable cost. So in fact, there are a lot of sessions in this summit. One session is on generation, and then session on distribution. Then there is a session on transmission, which I will also be participating. There are sessions on building India's energy security, and then capacity building in the energy sector. So once again, I welcome all the delegates, and I hope that this session will be very much useful, and there will be a lot of interaction, there will be a lot of networking. And I once again thank to the organizer for inviting me and giving me opportunity to deliver keynote address. Thank you much.